Hi everybody, welcome to Granny J Clay, and today it's going to be Granny J Say as well. So stay tuned, we'll see what happens. First I have to explain a little bit. It's kind of been a hard day claying, and I think it is because I haven't clayed for a few days. We had our older son here from Texas, and that was wonderful, and we celebrated my husband's birthday, and just had such a nice time together as a family. And of course, during those times, you don't really sit down and work on your hobbies. You are with family, and so I haven't clayed for a little bit. So I kind of struggled today, not with ideas. I had plenty of ideas. I just didn't, for some reason, have the energy today to really get into it, except for one thing. I did make this necklace. And maybe I can just kind of get up a little bit here. And you can see it's a shell necklace. And I'll turn it around. Maybe you can see that. I'll take it off and kind of hold it closer so you can see it a little bit. But I was really tickled with how it turned out. And so what I'm going to do is just show you a couple of things that I used, but on another day make that shell necklace. And I may end up taking this chain off and just adding some sort of a different string of some kind with some other beads, so I can give it a little bit more color. So, but here I am. I'm just going to share with you a little bit today about what I've been doing lately. I have been trying a few odds and ends. Although we won't get our hands on clay together today, I want to show you this. Don't laugh. Quite colorful, and this is quite colorful too. I was trying to do something. I had a little experiment going on. I imprinted the clay, as you can kind of tell, with sort of a flower and leaf imprint. And then what I did on the raw clay was that I took some stained glass pearlescent stain, translucent stain, that's what it's called. And I put it on the raw clay, and then I baked it. Well, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's more so over here, but there's all kinds of bubbles. It doesn't say that this is okay to bake. I just wanted to try it and to see what might happen. I like the colors, love the colors. And here I overlapped a couple of colors, and that's where I got most of the bubbles. This one I didn't get too many bubbles on this little strip, but aren't they pretty? I think they're vibrant colors and pretty. So now my next project is to make a medallion, a pendant, and then bake it with an imprint on it, and then I'm going to add the stain to that and see how it works out. And I think that'll probably work very, very well. And then you have to wait 24 hours, I guess, for it to dry or to set. And then I will shellac it like I usually do, spray it, paint it, you know, with Varathane, whichever I choose, and see how that turns out, and I will show you later on. But I thought, boy, that would be wonderful to use for different things, especially Christmas coming up, our preparation for Christmas coming up. So I will let that kind of sit on my shelf for a few days, and then I'm going to get to it. But I wanted to show you this other cute little thing that I bought. I just bought this at Michael's. My oldest son gave me a wonderful gift certificate to Michael's for Mother's Day. Isn't that awesome? My other son, I only have two, we only have two, he gave us both a chair to take out to the ball games to watch our grandkids, which is also wonderful because it rocks. It's really awesome. Anyway, this is a glass tube. Isn't that cute? And you could take this off and put whatever you wanted into it, but I thought maybe I would make a base for it out of clay, and then it's nice and small, and maybe you could put earrings on it and put it in the oven and shape your earrings on this. I don't know, I'm not sure. Or you could cover it with clay from one of your canes and do whatever you want with it, but it won't sit up because it's sort of like a test tube here on this end. But it's the neatest little thing. And I bought it at Michael's for $1. You know those shelves? I don't know if your Michael's has it or not, but right up in front of the store they have shelves, and they have several little areas in those shelves that have things that are about $1 a piece, maybe $1.50. something like that. But I thought I'd show you that. I bought 2 of them, and I'm going to do something with them soon. All right, I'm going to take this off so you can see what I did for my... I'm actually going to take it off the chain, and then I'm going to hold it closer. All right. There it is. That's the shell. And I'm going to turn it around this way. I think my initials are upside down in there, but you can see them. But I also covered the inside. I made the outside first using Perfect Pearls. And I'll show you, let's see here, where did I put it? I'll show you what I used, if I can find it. Hang on a minute. Sorry about that. Okay, this is what I used for a form. I bought that at Michael's as well. And these can be pricey. But I wanted to use it for a form, and so I thought, well, I could make many shells out of this. You could make it shorter, you know, make smaller ones up here, press it on here and make the larger ones. But that's what I did. And then I used pearlescence. I used some, I think it was espresso, which is a brown. I used some green. I used some blue. I used just the Perfect Pearl white. And so I wanted to kind of get it variegated a little bit. So that's how it turned out. And I was really, really pleased with how it turned out. Let me put this down. And then on the other side, what I used for my texture, believe it or not, was that. You know what that is? Burlap. I had some burlap, and I thought, you know, I'm going to give that a try. And it might leave a few fuzzies on the clay, but you can pick them off really easily. But I like the print that it left, and it almost sort of looked like it belonged on a shell. So that's what I've done in the last couple of days. Not a lot, but something. And I think it's really good to keep busy with clay, and even if you're not in the mood to do it because you're tired, do it anyway. I know some people, oh, I wanted to show you one other thing, and then I'll talk about what some people get stuck on what they can do or what they can make, and I wanted to talk about that quick. But years and years ago, isn't that cute? Look at that. I put a light bulb in clay so that I could use it for a form, and that's what I did. I used it for a form with my shell and kind of let it hang off. Make sure I went around the edges, made sure it stuck to the light bulb, and then I baked it that way. So when it hangs on your shirt, then it sort of sticks out a little bit like a shell, but not too far. And I'm just real happy with that. Like I said, we can make one together another time. But I've been hearing people say that they've run out of ideas here and there for what to do in clay. And when that happens to me, what I do almost always is I think of someone that I love and care for, and I think about what they like, and then I make something for them. And that is really, really, really helpful. So I just thought I would throw that out as a suggestion as well, if you are wondering what you want to do, or what should I do, or I just can't seem to come up with an idea. Who is it that you love and care about, and what do they like? Make something for them. They'll love it. They'll just love it, and they'll appreciate it, and you'll feel good, and you'll get back into the swing of making things. All right, I think that was all I was going to show you, but I also wanted to do a Granny J Say, and part of this is going to be that. Some time ago, I made my first Granny J Say video, and I told you that sometimes I would be talking about healing, and so I'm going to mix it up today, and I'm going to talk about healing today just a little bit. Several years ago, I had fibromyalgia and 2 bulging discs in my spine. And I went to the doctor, and he examined my back, and he said that you are going to need surgery, and we're going to go in from the front and into your back, and we're going to scrape out whatever I need to scrape out, the doctor said, and then we're going to put a rod and screws and some cement in there. And I thought, no, you're not. That didn't sound good at all to me. But I was in pain, and I decided I was going to go home and just pray about that and talk to some friends about it and ask them to pray for me too. And so I did that. And we had some friends come over for a small group one night, and they laid hands on me and they prayed for me. And I want you to know that ever since then, I have not had any problem with my back. So I feel as though God divinely healed me from those 2 bulging discs. In fact, I did go back to the doctor, and this was when we still lived in South Dakota. We live in Kansas now. But I went back to the doctor, and he was just amazed. He was amazed, and he had me lean over and lift my leg, things that I couldn't do prior to having people lay hands on me for healing. And he was just amazed. He says, well, he said, come back and see me if you need me. But he was rather in awe. And so I shared with him what happened and how people prayed for me. And he said, well, he said, come back if you need me and cross your fingers in the meantime. And I said, well, I don't believe in crossing my fingers, but I will cross my hands in prayer and be thankful for my healed back. And he said, that's the best. That's the best. So, and then I also had fibromyalgia and was battling that. At the time, I didn't know anything about physical healing. Since that time, since way back when, I have studied a lot from the Bible on healing. And it talks about healing a lot in the Bible. And so I still am learning and have learned a lot and have been able to also share with other people, and I've been able to lay hands on people and see them healed only because of Jesus Christ, only because of him. However, the fibromyalgia was bothering me, and so a friend of mine had invited me to a worship service, and so I went forward at the worship service, which I was not familiar with. I mean, I was not comfortable in doing that. That was not how I grew up. But when they asked anybody that was battling anything, if they wanted to come up for prayer, I did. And this little old lady, probably in her late 80s, asked me what I had come to Jesus for. And I thought, boy, you are right, lady. I'm not coming to you. I'm coming to who you represent, and that is Jesus. And so I told her, and she barely touched me on my forehead, and she spoke some things. And then she just went to the next person. And I turned away from that altar thanking Jesus for healing me from fibromyalgia as well. And I just continued on that path. And for the next, I would say maybe 2 to 3 months, not exactly sure, I just kept thanking him. I had pains during that time, but I just kept thanking him and thanking him. By the end of the 3 months, at least 3 months, I think it was, I was completely healed. It was gone. And so I just want to share that with you, not to freak you out or scare you or anything like that. But that's my testimony, and it's true. And so I want to share more about healing, and I will do so in another Granny J Say down the road, and maybe share some things that I have learned along the way. So if you have any questions or concerns, or if you need prayer for something, just put that down below. And also, if you like the video, put that down below too. Do a little thumbs up if you wouldn't mind, and subscribe to my channel. But that was what I was going to share today, a little bit about claying and a little bit saying. And I'm also going to do a Granny J playing video soon as well. That's where I do something not related to clay at all. It's just some little fun thing that I like to do. So I have Granny J Clay, Granny J Say, and Granny J Play. So anyway, that's all for today. I'm glad you stuck around and listened to what I had to say. And I just want to bless you and have a wonderful weekend. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.